Can you tell us about organizations in your country or internationally that work against surrogacy?
Our organization is named PDF Québec, which means in French, Pour les droits des femmes du Québec. If I translate it, it's for women's right of Quebec. Concerning surrogacy, at my knowledge in Canada, PDF Québec is the only Canadian feminist organization that opposes officially surrogacy. We have 600 members. We are a feminist, citizen, mixed, non-partisan group, and we are, of course, a radical feminist organization. We are a member of the International Coalition for the Abolition of Surrogate Motherhood, ICASM, that Marie-Joseph de Villiers will talk to you more lengthily. We defend all women, but we don't defend all positions. Our main issues are denouncing the harm to women and women's rights made by the gender identity ideology. And PDF Québec works to ensure the secular nature of the Quebec state also. We cooperate with groups that work towards abolishing prostitution and the system that allows it. And of course, we cooperate with groups that work towards abolishing surrogacy, commercial or altruistic, and I will explain later why altruistic surrogacy needs to be stopped also. PDF Québec rejects any and all new definitions of feminism, which serve a sectarian or communitarian interest at the expense of women's rights.
The coordination was spontaneously born years ago. There were some books by some of us. We have created organizations such as RUA, which means Resistance to the Womb for Rent. The coordination has developed with other existing associations, and we are united in an Italian network against the Womb for Rent, which is in turn connected with international network such as CHAMPS in France and Stop Surrogacy now in the USA. We follow carefully and exchange information on what happens all over the world. For example, we Italians were the first to raise alarm about what was happening in Ukraine and to ask for intervention from our government. Internally, in addition to resisting those who propose to authorize surrogacy in our country, mainly gay and queer organizations, we work on two fronts. First, the request for a change in the law so that the crime can be punished even if committed at the abroad. The second front is a work on registries which has already achieved good results. When come back to Italy from Ukraine or California, the client couples ask for the transcription of the childbirth certificate, erasing the mother and the truth about his origins. We fought in Milan to ask that this transcription cannot be done longer. It was really a hard battle. Unfortunately, the leftist city government of Milano was against us. Fortunately, the mayor listened to us and stopped the transcription of the pairs of father, the couples of fathers. A few months after, an important judgment gave us reason, stating that the child has the right to the truth about his origins, and only the biological parent can be transcribed. So at least the pairs of father in Italy are no longer transcribed, while it's easier for heterosexual couples to escape, but we are also working on this. It was a good win for us.
As much as they say that, like, the companies who do surrogacy, that they controlling the buyers, that they like test them and all that, we can only hope that it's true. The real situation that those parents sometimes buy kids for an actual exploitation and sex trafficking as well. The mother having zero rights to control her kid's life and check on the kid, and to take the kid back from the parents, to prevent a living being from suffering in the future. So the law, what it says: according to the provisions of the Family Code of Ukraine, disputing motherhood by a surrogate mother is not allowed. In the case of transfer to the body of another woman, the embryo of a person conceived by spouses as a result of using assisted reproductive technologies, the spouses are the parents of the child. Such normative regulation does not contribute to the formation of tendencies to challenge motherhood by a surrogate mother, equating her chances of winning to zero. At the same time, disputes existing in judicial practice arise from the opposite situation, when surrogate mothers, contrary to previous agreements with biological parents, refuse to give a newborn baby and register parental rights with themselves in a registry office. In such cases, the court always takes the side of biological parents. But the problem is, it's no matter which laws in Ukraine we have, if it's about protecting vulnerable, it's not really working, because many of the companies, businesses that run by people who are actual criminals or people who are not, you know, like the situation in Ukraine with corruption is really bad. So if you want to break a law, you're pretty free to do that. So even if there was like a really good strategy of preventing sex trafficking and helping surrogate mothers to, you know, have their child to be safe, I really don't think that there will be really many cases where they would win. And of course, because the people who buy kids, they're also really wealthy usually.
I'm a member of Object, which is a England-based campaigning organisation, and we have 5 platforms on which we campaign. We don't take funding from anyone, so we can't be dictated to about what we do and what we don't do. We're self-funding. The 5 platforms that we campaign on are sexism, porn, the sex trade, surrogacy, and transgender ideology. In terms of surrogacy, our objection would be, along with most radical feminists, in terms of Ekman's work, Sheila Jeffrey's work, and we use research, Klein's work, and also I forget her name now. Oh yes, Lal and other women who are also doing lots of research, because without the research, we have no way in which to influence the pro-surrogacy lobby, which is extremely strong and extremely able to capture governments and capture the United Nations, EU laws, and everywhere else. Just by using the term altruistic surrogacy appears to be a catch-all which enables everyone to do as they please regarding the surrogacy issue. We were hoping this year to have our first surrogacy conference, which would have been a first for us, and we had invited various people like Sheila Jeffreys and Ekman and various others who've done detailed research into this issue to attend, but unfortunately, due to CV19, we had to cancel. But we are hoping that in the future we're going to be able to reconvene this conference, which we would hope will be well attended. because in UK, because of the altruistic definition and the idea that you know, it's something that a woman does because of her selflessness and wants to give joy to another family, it's very difficult to gauge actually what the public feeling is. But we're hoping to get more of the public feeling because of the last year's Law Commission's paper that they sent out asking for people's opinions, which we contributed to, and I'll talk more about that later. But we as most radical feminists see the fact that surrogacy is akin to prostitution and the selling of women and selling of women's bodies, however it's projected towards the public.
2 years ago, we held an international conference backed by French MPs in Paris against surrogacy. And it's exactly when we decided, I mean, we feminist organizations, to set up an international body. This is the coalition, the International Coalition of the Abolition of Surrogate Motherhood. And this coalition has now 34 members in 10 countries in the world. This is Japan, Quebec, yes, there is Ghislaine over there, Australia, Romania, Sweden, Austria, Italy, Spain, Belgium, and France. Must say that it's feminist body, which is something very important. And we have got very strong links also with the anti-women traffic movement, with the anti-prostitution movement, because some of our members are in this field. As the international organizations are concerned, I must mention also this campaign. It's not an organization, it's more or less a campaign, which is called Stop Surrogacy Now, which started in the United States. And also, we know a few national coalitions against surrogacy. One is in Spain, it's called RICAV. It's a very powerful organization with 140 members in Spain. One is in Australia, and one is in Italy, as Marina said.